Hello, friends. Welcome to another Tuesday. And this video will be your energy update for the upcoming week, July 8th through July 14th. If this is your first time finding one of my videos, hello. My name is Cassandra Deanne. I'm a certified galactic astrologer and I am a galactic trance channeler. In these weekly update videos, I like to talk a little bit about what is going on collectively with the energy from different perspectives. And then in the second portion of the video, I provide trance channeling guidance from various energies of higher dimension, frequency that invite us to consider new perspectives or look at things a certain way for the week ahead. So that being said, let's dive in. So actually, this is a week in which a lot I feel is coming up for me. That I feel inspired to share with you from a perspective of human design and galactic astrology. If you watch any of my other videos, you know that I like to try to limit the technical language in these, but I do want to provide some information for you in case you wish to explore this on your own. In this particular video, I am going to be actually talking a little bit more about galactic astrology, including sharing my screen to point out a few placements. If you are new to galactic astrology, I invite you to click the link in my description that will take you to a video that talks more about this awesome modality and will help you kind of gain more information if you feel called to it on what some of these aspects are. But for the sake of this video, really, I'm just going to be talking about various galactic races that are influencing the energy in the sense of astrology connections for us right now. So that said, let's dive in. So I want to talk about the energy this week as we are coming up on the full moon on the 10th. And so in this video, I'm going to be spending most of my energy talking about that. Now, if you are familiar with human design or you want to research this on your own, I'm going to be talking about gate 53, which is the gate of beginnings. And this is going to be connected to where the sun is presently in Cancer. And then I will also be talking about gate 54, which is the gate of ambition. And this is connected to where the moon placement will be, which is in Capricorn. So let's kind of look at it from this perspective first. So when we're looking at a full moon, I've shared in the past that I see this as an illumination, an area in which you can see the full moon as sort of a spotlight, inviting us to reflect, to look, to adjust, to celebrate. It's a time in which something is being pointed out. We're being asked to kind of look here. This is how I have found the full moon energy really invites us to kind of consider these things. You can look at it as a midway point. If you were to start a project, you would have the beginning, where you're excited. What am I starting? This is more like the new moon. But then when we get partway through whatever it is we're doing, there might be a period in which it's like inviting us to say, okay, how is this going? What have I learned? What can I celebrate? What needs adjustment? So this is how I invite you to look at this energy. So now when we're looking at the full moon, also there is this push-pull because where the sun placement is in opposition of where the moon is. So once again, we have this push-pull of energy asking us to look at two different energies and how we can bring them in harmony. Now, this is especially interesting to me as we're looking at this energy of beginning, but we're also looking at this energy of ambition. And so let's kind of dive deeper into this because the other thing that is interesting about this is the moon's natural ruler is Cancer, yet the moon isn't in Cancer. The moon is in Capricorn, which this, if you are familiar with astrology, is a fairly challenging placement because Capricorn is an energy that isn't as flowing with emotion or intuition. It is more structured. It is an earth sign. It is more grounded. It's like, I don't want the feels. Just tell me what the plan is so I can implement it and get to my goals of what I want to achieve. And so we have here this energy of the gate of ambition. So when we're looking at this from a full moon perspective, collectively, we're looking at these two energies. You can look at it this week as, what is it I'm wanting to experience? What is it I'm wanting to start? What is it that wants to be shifted? And how can I achieve that? What is being asked of? What is being shown? What is being highlighted for me right now to look at in order to be able to achieve these things? Now, taking it a step further, when we're looking at where the sun's energy is in Cancer. So there is an element of this that is connected to intuition, but has a more yang quality to it that invites us to not just daydream about what we want, but to actually take for some sort of, aligned steps or motion, or even simply in the acknowledgement of saying, coming out from language of, well, it would really be nice to have that, or gosh, I wish my life was like that. And instead saying, no, this is who I am. It's that moment where we take our desires and we really embed it into tuning into the frequency of what it is we're wanting to create, what it is we want to see play out in our lives. So, with this energy, there's a few interesting layers here. One is that understanding this is an energy of beginning. So, with this, there's an appreciation that we're just getting started, that we might not have all the steps figured out, and that's okay. It's just tuning into the energy frequency of what it is that we're wanting to experience. I'll give you an example. I was invited in my own life to consider this. There are certain things that I wish to do in my life. Now, interestingly enough, I do have a Capricorn moon, which is, so I can relate to these energies, and they are significant actually in my own charts. But I'll give you the example as this. There are things that I've said in, expression of knowing the life I want. I want to live a life where, and I've listed, I want to go do this. I want to travel. I want to experience that. I want to have the freedom for simple things to be able to experience. But yet at the same time, when different opportunities come in, I go to my logical mind and I get too caught up. Is this responsible? How am I using my energy? Do I have the financial support right now? Well, I don't know if I feel as comfortable here, but if I had X number in my bank account, then I could travel, or then I could do that. But the point is if I'm doing that, then I'm pushing that reality further and further away for someday to come. But yet that may or may not ever come. So when we're talking about this moon, and I'm sharing with you this energy of Cancer with also where the sun is, it is coming out from, I can continue to say, this is the life I want, but yet am I actually, when opportunities are coming, am I squashing them because I want it to look a certain way, or it needs to be a certain way, or I'm operating in fear and not trusting, therefore I'm not taking any action. So when we have Cancer and the sun here in this energy, like I said, it's tuning into what you want, but also learning to align with, like, are you, the sun is I am. It is this is me, this is where I am. So it's like, are you merging these two? And so then now when we have this full moon energy and we have the moon in Capricorn, it also has a similar quality in which it says to the sun in Cancer, I can help you. I know what you want. I have the ability to tune in through my intuitive knowing and be able to show you actionable steps that are aligned so you can have that life you want. And so these energies are working together. Now, also, if you are interested in human design, these two gates are the most ambitious gates of all 64 gates in human design. So this moon is significant and a reflection of, what is it that you want? What is it you want to create? And how can you start actually taking steps, coming out of a feeling of, well, someday it'll be nice, or I wonder if, I'm dreaming of this, or being in fear and saying, like, I can't have that. That's not for me. These are the shadow aspects of this energy. And instead, working in harmony with these two energies to actually move in the direction of what it is that you're wanting to experience in your life. Now, I will say also, adding an extra note to the moon's placement in Capricorn, this energy does have a fixation on the shadow aspect of money. So be mindful this week in your perspective of finance and resource energy exchange through these means, because the energy of ambition and where the moon is in Capricorn, it can fixate on the money so much that it misses the rest of the picture, because the focus shouldn't be the finance. It should be within the feeling of the life that we want to experience, the thing that we wish to create, the relationship we wish to have. That is the focus. And so these energies are what will be sort of collectively activated with this upcoming full moon. Now, depending on where these energies are in your own chart, will influence extra layers. And I shared a little bit of this, I think, in my last energy update. Based on the houses, will kind of add additional layers to where you're receiving this pull back and forth. For example, for me, I have this moon is it's I'm it's right on the line of energies. So I'd have to go back and look at my chart for that. But I'll give you a general example. So if you had these energies, let's say in your fourth house and your 10th house, which is close to where mine is. So the fourth house would be themes of your home, your foundation, your security, what feels good, your place of comfort. This is normally ruled by Cancer. This normally is associated with the feminine aspects, where the 10th house is normally ruled by Capricorn. And this is your public image, how you're perceived in the world, your legacy that you leave, all of these energies. So using this as an example, there could be a balance. Like I said, this is pretty close to where it is in my chart. You can look at this as, okay, how does the life that I want to lead harmonize and balance with what I want to contribute in the world? Am I honoring both sides of myself? Am I starting and moving towards a direction that, contributes to my life in ways that feel beautiful and connected and harmonized, but also am I honoring, how I'm showing up, how what I'm sharing with the world, and not just caving in. Okay, so those are some examples of that. Now I have just a couple more things real quick I want to share to this. I'm going to share my screen. This is the Galactic Astrology chart based off of the full moon, which will be taking place around 18 degrees of, as I said, the sign Cancer and Capricorn. As you can see here, Sun, Cancer, 18 degrees. Moon, Capricorn. This particular chart is based off of Eastern Standard Time at 4:37, where it's said to be the fullest point of the moon. Now, a couple things really quick I wanted to point out is here you can see that Lyra is connected to this moon. So from a galactic perspective, if we're looking at galactic races, we could say too that the energy, the Lyran energy, is very much involved in the energy dynamic right now. So I would especially say those of you that have Lyran connections or past lives, you may feel like more amplified energy during this time. If you're not sure what that means, like I said, click the link in my description. You can pull your free Galactic Astrology chart and look to see if you have Lyra in either an opposition or a conjunction. If you do, this means that you most likely have had a past life experience on Lyra. So what does that mean? That means that the Lyran characteristic traits are a part of who you are, embedded in your genetics and your DNA, and will sort of help theme your life experiences here in this reality. So, what are some of the traits? Lyrans are the pioneers. They are more of in alignment, the divine masculine expression, where they wanted to go out, they wanted to explore, they wanted to see new things. There's courage and there's passion, there's sensuality, so we can look at this energy and for example, in my case, the life I want to lead, passion, sensuality, experience, all of this is a big part of the direction I'm wanting to go. But yet I get in my head or I get in fear and I say, I can't have that life. I can't do the things that light me up. I can't enjoy, you have to work or you have to grind, or is this actually going to be supported? Can I actually have this life? And so these energies, you can see here this Lyran quality coming, encouraging me for the boldness, the confidence. Lyrans took the actionable steps to move forward. We won't get anywhere if we don't embody and move forward. So this energy this week with this moon is being activated. And then lastly, the one other thing I wanted to talk about very briefly, just from a galactic astrology perspective, something that I noticed. So a lot of people have talked about Uranus moving into Gemini and out of Taurus. I know for those who are Taurus are celebrating, having parties, and joyfully thrilled that Uranus is moving on. And interestingly enough, Uranus in Gemini, I would say these energies have the potential to complement each other because Gemini does generally have an overall, when in alignment, open perspective, a curiosity, a playfulness, and Uranus is the rebel. Uranus is don't, do it outside of the box, don't conform. So it will be interesting for those that are Geminis to see, are you embodying this energy? If not, watch out because Uranus is gonna shake up your world. This is lightning. This is, shifts and spontaneous adjustments. But what I found particularly interesting about this today when I was looking at the energy, here you can see Uranus, as my cursor is, in Gemini. And right now, look at this. Look at how tight of a conjunction this is to the Pleiades constellation, multiple stars, like 0.07, like, 0.14. I mean, this is tight. And you have here again, a very, a connection here with Saturn sextiling Pleiades and Neptune sextiling Pleiades. So why do I want to talk about this? Well, because from the work I've been doing in channeling, we keep hearing things that are saying from galactic energies coming forward, which a lot of the channeling has been from Pleiades, saying we're shifting, we're changing, you're moving out of the box, you're coming into new gifts, you're going through quantum leaps, things are shifting, things are changing, you're realigning. What is it you're wanting to create? What world do you want to live in? All of these aspects, the Uranus will be here in Gemini for the next 8 years. During that time, we're talking about many other channelers, such as Bashar, others as well, have talked about we're moving into becoming a galactic community. Galactic connections are coming on stronger. It is said that first contact of some sort in a significant way may take place between 2026 to 2027. Interestingly enough, this is all during the time in which Uranus is in Gemini. And I find this interesting that it is so tightly connected to Pleiades, which just so happens to be very much invested in first contact and where we're evolving and growing. Okay, see, this one had a lot this week. There was a lot here I wanted to bring up. So I think it's exciting and interesting. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. It would be neat if you wanted to pull up, like I said, your own free galactic astrology chart and see like where Pleiades is for you. Are you connected? Or, how is this energy with Lyra influencing you? Because these energies are all interwoven into each one of our journeys. I know in my own galactic astrology chart, I have a Pleiades placement to my Jupiter in the 11th house. So it's no surprise as the 11th house is community, and sharing with the collective. I'm not surprised that I'm channeling the Pleiadians a lot, it seems like right now. So, okay, that being said, I'm going to take a drink of water and I'm going to shift gears. I know this video probably is going to be one of my longer ones because there was a lot I felt inclined to discuss and share that was very relevant for this week. Okay, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shift gears here, ground my energy in a little bit. If you have not watched any of my other videos yet for trance channeling, basically what I do is I tune in very deeply to my channel connection. And in doing so, I allow myself to relax and I allow my consciousness to recede towards the back. And in doing so, then I will channel whatever energy frequency that comes through. Now, some channelers channel one particular being, and my energy for the purpose in which I'm being guided, I channel multiple different energy frequencies, most of galactic, angelic, or ancient archetypal frequencies. Like last week, I channeled Thoth. When I do this, as I said, my consciousness is receded, so I do not know what is being said until I go back and watch the video or read the transcript. Because of that, when the channeling's done, I will go ahead and end the video. So I want to take this moment now to thank you if you're still watching here with me, and also suggest that if you are interested in finding out more about galactic astrology, as I said, to check that out. Also, I have been offering one-on-one trance channeling sessions that have been pretty profound for those who have experienced it. It's hard to summarize even in words. The energy frequency is so strong. That said, while I'm channeling here today, if you are in a position you can close your eyes and really relax into your body, you can feel the energy that is coming forward. So I invite you now, if you can, to take a moment, take a pause. These moments I feel are essential in general for balance and harmony. Taking moments to just relax and breathe into our body. I invite you to breathe with me, and I'm going to go ahead and connect to whatever energy wishes to come forward for the week ahead. Today, we come to you as the energy frequency of the Council of Blue Ray. We are an energy frequency of higher vibrational energy connected to the realms of the archangelic frequency of the blue ray. We speak to you today on various topics in which we wish to provide guidance in where you are headed, where you are going. Among these topics, we would say the first would be that we would invite you to consider with, we would say, an attentive eye, the ways in which you share beliefs, systems, patterns of thoughts that are not able to move forward in where you are going. It may feel simplistic to say, but yet we say this anyways. You cannot continue as you are and expect there to be different results. Yet, many of you share the same feelings, the same thoughts in which you feel held back, limited, or fearful of your current experiences. There is a point in which one might need to look and say, I am not moving forward as I so desire. You find comfort in what is familiar, what has been done, yet you find discomfort in the results that it provides. Therefore, there is change. Collectively, you are in a position in which this is essential understanding to move in the direction you so desire. We would say if you continue, yet you continue to complain, you are not experiencing what you wish. We again say to open the eye with greater clarity and observation of what is needed to be adjusted. This, we would say, applies to a large majority of those of you on this planet during this time. We would say with this, how encouraging it is to imagine a world in which will be produced as so many of you finally shift out of these limitations. This will, in turn, increase the vibrational resonance of your planet, of your people, resulting in leaps and bounds of forward motion. We would say simply, you need to be aware. But imagine the shift when you become aware. As you become aware, you help others in shifting of their frequency. And this is a domino effect that will result in significant advancement. The second topic of interest we wish to communicate with you today would be that of connection. Specifically, we would like to speak with you towards connection of opening the mind to how it is in which you are connecting to your environment, your land, your animals, your, we would say, in seeking for a word, we would describe it as such. There is no necessity per se of your external circumstances to look or appear of any certain variety. A home can simply be a home, but yet your planet, you appreciate the variance of appearance. Some of you enjoy high mountainous terrain, some enjoy climate changes of seasons. Some of you enjoy sports with animals, observation. Yet we find this of interest that many of you are not aware of how interconnected you are to these things that add value to your day-to-day. You walk past them, you walk over them, you move through them. If you were to recognize your connection to these things of sorts, you may realize they provide a pathway to more connection and awareness to your own reality. Yet, you want to have them, see them, yet you do not appreciate or connect. We would say not all, yet once more we would say a large majority. Can you appreciate the various trees? Can you entertain what their journey has looked like? Can you appreciate the value in which they contribute, not just aesthetically, but to the animals, the land, the nature in which they dwell? Can you appreciate the difference in terrains? Can you understand or entertain the idea of the variance of energy that it takes to exist in various different shapes and forms and energies and frequencies? This alone opens the mind to understand your own uniqueness within yourself, within your people. How can you move beyond limitation and the trivial concerns you have been programmed to be distraught by? And can you increase your amount of presence and understanding of your connection to this full experience with more awareness? We will then move to our third point of interest today in conversation. And this would be of that of how you view the idea of existence beyond that of yourself. We would invite each and every one of you to sit down and to observe within yourself your own beliefs, feelings, fears, judgments, or excitement as it relates to the idea that life exists beyond your mere species. You are moving in a direction in which you will no longer be within your projected, isolated bubble, as there are enough frequencies on your existence, your planet, in which are aligning to evolution, connecting to, we would say, your forefathers, to those who have appeared to your people in forms and ways in your history that are yet to be discovered. We would ask each individual to take this time in observation. You may listen to this now, but could you be of acceptance if these energy frequencies appeared to you within your home, within your dwelling, within your neighborhood, to your family members? What feelings, emotions does this arise? Now is the time to address these. Likewise, there are those of you whom you say, oh, yes, we invite, yes, come, come. We want to be among you. But yet, why? Some of you see this as a form of escape. Some of you see this as a form of, we will come and fix your problems. We will not. We will be honest. Our appearance will simply cause more disruption, but of a positive quality. Yet, as we spoke to you in the beginning, many of your people do not like disruption or change. There are those of you that say, yes, come, come, yet you hold fear. At the core of your being, there is still fear and judgment. Can you sit with that in reflection? Can you ask why? What is it you've been told? What is it you fear? There will be awareness within these questionings that will allow you the opportunity to align to that of your highest capacity in preparation of what is to come. We feel this information holds much value, much to be considered. Therefore, we shall not add more at this time. So with this guidance, we would say to you, goodbye. Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching. I invite you to, if you enjoyed this, to like for more content. Feel free to subscribe. And until next time, bye.